to go forward to use taxpayer dollars to defend DOMA. Never again did we meet. They voted $500,000. The BLAG voted $500,000 that day in a not bipartisan way, and yet they take the title BLAG as if there was some bipartisan support for that. But we never met again to vote for that money, and they sent it up to like $3 million by now. So it's very strange. So I don't know if they're silent or they're speaking with the taxpayers' dollar being spent without benefit of votes in the BLAG, predicating it on a vote that we had on Rules Day, saying the BLAG has the permission to go forward with this, but not having the BLAG take any action on it. So I think their behavior has been not a model for the future. Let's put it that way. It's really disappointing and unworthy of a subject that is going before the Supreme Court of our country that has such an impact on not only these marriage equality families, but also on our whole country as to who we are. So I don't know where they are on the subject, but maybe have you asked them? Maybe they just will volunteer, not volunteer, but will speak. But again, $3 million speaks very loudly, especially $3 million that has gone forth without benefit of vote in the so-called partisan legislative advisory group. You know.
Madam Leader, can we ask you on another subject?
Until we're finished with this, and
Today, Senator Hagan came out supporting marriage. Previously this week, we had Tester, Rockefeller, Warner, and Begich is another. What took so long, and why is this all coming out now on the Democratic side?
Well, I've been there 25 years, so it didn't take me long. But here's the thing, and this question, if I just may take it to a little different place, this question kept coming up in the court. They were saying, why is it that now all these people are, what did the Chief Justice say, they're just tripping all over each other to come out in favor of marriage equality when the bill passed, a large bipartisan vote was there for it. And the question is, was that animus, that came up? They read from the report on the bill in the House that said it was about morality. You know, it's a little bit on the, shall we say, mean-spirited side, but that you can't paint everybody with that brush. You know, once a bill goes over to the Senate, then they vote the way they vote. I think what wasn't said there, but I think part of it is also since then and now, many more family members have come forward, whether it's somebody's sister, brother, cousin, uncle, mother, father, whatever it is, have come forward as to their interest in marriage equality, and that's been then translated into our popular culture, whether it's TV or movies or whatever. And so we're at a different place, and it's a generational change as well. You look at these statistics, and you'll see a generational gap in terms of approval of marriage equality and the rest, acceptance, whatever, of marriage equality. So I think people now, somebody used the term there, times can blind, which was one of Justice Kennedy's phrases on another case related to Texas previously. But in other words, times can blind, and whatever this public mood was on this subject at the time, it also created some ignorance on the subject, and that ignorance is fading now, and the more light that is shed on something like this, about this being about discrimination, about depriving people of equal protection, about not having a rational basis for the defense of marriage. Now, I'm going to say something I've said to you a number of times. I'm going to say it again, and Drew sometimes gets tired of hearing me say this. One of the questions that came up in the court today was the justices asked, did the originators of DOMA at the time think that it was constitutional? And Mr. Clement claimed 2 times that, oh yes, they asked the administration, the Justice Department. The Justice Department said 3 times, yes, it was constitutional. So that meant, okay, why would you ask that question except to find out what the intent was of the Republican, well, it was a Republican initiative at the time. What they didn't say is what I have in my op-ed today in USA Today on the web, is that the Republicans know, and they know right now, that DOMA is not constitutional. In 2005, they introduced a bill, Respect for Marriage Act, son of DOMA. DOMA, Defense of Marriage Act, this is Respect for Marriage Act. The Respect for Marriage Act stated that in the case of DOMA, the courts did not have the right of judicial review, the right to review on the constitutionality of the act. Why would you pass a bill in Congress? Well, they passed it in the House. It didn't pass the Senate. Why would you pass a bill in the Congress, in the House, that said the courts do not have the right to rule on the constitutionality of a bill if you thought it could withstand that test? Because you don't think it can withstand that test. And that's why you engage in what is called court stripping of the court of the right of judicial review. Some at that time even said that Marbury versus Madison, the case that established the right of judicial review, was wrongly decided. So that's what we're dealing with here. So they know that that was not constitutional. And that's what I would have responded to the justices had I been on the other side of the railing there.
Pelosi, the Speaker Boehner's office had a response to Mr. Boehner's spokesman that said the law's constitutionality is determined by the courts, not by the Department of Justice. As long as the Obama administration refuses to exercise its responsibility, we will. What do you say to that argument?
In other words, when you pass a bill in the House, as we did with the health care bill, we made it ironclad constitutionally. You have a responsibility to honor the Constitution. In fact, we take an oath to do just that. And that is the oath that Obama is upholding. You weigh equities. Congress passes a bill. It's questionable in terms of constitutionality. There's no question about your oath to the Constitution of the United States. And the behavior of the Republicans in the House of Representatives on this subject has been so irresponsible. First of all, why in this time would you pass a bill that increases discrimination? We're going in the direction of the arc of justice bending in favor of more justice, not more discrimination. Why would you do such a thing in the first place? And then, when it is questioned in terms of its constitutionality, to spend money in the tune of millions outside the regular order of how that money should be spent to defend increasing discrimination in our society. It's just plain wrong. And given a choice, I think we would all say we're honoring, as the President does, the Constitution, not any thing that has passed the House and has not passed the test of constitutionality yet. I got to go to work now, so I'll just take this moment.
Today is the 100th anniversary, if you will, of the Newtown shooting, of course. And there's been 100 days, and there's been some talk, obviously. Senator Reid says that he will bring up a gun bill when we return from the Easter Passover recess here, but he says that the assault weapons ban will not be a part of that. Senator Feinstein can offer her amendment, but he said he thinks that'll only get about 40 votes. Did the President and those in favor of gun control lose some momentum here? There have been cases where there's been serious incidents happen, whether it be in the financial sector or other areas, where Congress has moved very quickly, very expeditiously. Is it because we were dealing with a fiscal cliff, or what? Did we lose momentum in trying to pass something?
No, I don't think we have lost momentum. I think we could stay here more days so that we can get our work done more expeditiously, if that's the word you used. I've been to a number of states since this Congress has